Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperature, precipitation, wind patterns, and other indicators of the Earth's climate. These shifts can be natural, but they are primarily caused by human activities, such as the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, which release large amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These gases trap heat from the sun, causing the Earth's surface to warm. The Earth's climate has naturally varied over time, but the rate of change in recent decades has been much faster than in the past. The main driver of climate change is the increasing concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which trap more heat and contribute to rising temperatures. And hurricanes can also have serious consequences for ecosystems and the species that depend on them, as well as for human communities, particularly those that are already vulnerable. Many scientists believe that climate change is a major threat to the planet and that urgent action is needed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate its impacts. This includes transitioning to clean energy sources and adopting more sustainable practices in areas such as agriculture and transportation. One aspect of climate change that is often overlooked is the fact that it is not just a problem for the distant future. Many of the impacts of climate change are already being felt today, and they are likely to become more severe in the coming years and decades if greenhouse gas emissions are not significantly reduced. Another aspect of climate change that is often misunderstood is the fact that it is not just a problem for low-lying coastal areas or small island nations. Climate change affects the entire planet and all of its inhabitants, and it has the potential to impact everyone, regardless of where they live. This means that addressing climate change is a global issue that requires the cooperation and efforts of all countries and communities. Climate change is having a wide range of impacts on the Earth and its inhabitants. Some of the most significant impacts include rising temperatures. The Earth's surface is warming, and this is leading to more frequent and severe heat waves, as well as longer and more intense droughts in some regions. Extreme weather events. Climate change is leading to more frequent and severe storms, floods, and hurricanes, which can cause damage to infrastructure, disrupt communities, and cause loss of life. Rising temperatures are causing the polar ice caps to melt, leading to rising sea levels and flooding in coastal areas. Climate change is affecting the distribution and abundance of plants and animals, and it is leading to the extinction of some species. It is also exacerbating existing inequalities and disproportionately affecting marginalized and vulnerable communities. Overall, climate change is a major threat to the planet and its inhabitants, and urgent action is needed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate its impacts. There are many actions that individuals, communities, and governments can take to reduce the amount of greenhouse gases being released into the atmosphere and mitigate the impacts of climate change. Some key strategies include is to transition away from fossil fuels, such as coal and oil, and towards clean energy sources, such as solar and wind power. Increasing energy efficiency. Another important strategy is to make our homes, buildings, and transportation systems more energy efficient, which can reduce the amount of energy needed to power our daily lives. Planting trees and preserving natural habitats. Trees and other vegetation absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, so increasing the amount of forests and other natural habitats can help to offset greenhouse gas emissions, such as reducing our use of single-use plastics. Governments and policymakers also have a role to play in addressing climate change. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperature, precipitation,